everyone. Today we are going to look at the poem A Tiger in the Zoo, which is present in class 10 CBSE board, and this is present in First Flight book. And let's see this poem. This poem actually tries to compare the life of a tiger present either in the cage as compared to when he's free and moving about freely in the jungle. So how does the tiger feel the difference? First stanza says, he stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on paths of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. Now here the poet is trying to describe the beauty of the tiger, but at the same time wants to tell us that how the tiger feels when he is inside the cage of the zoo. So according to the poet, he says that the tiger is taking slow steps and moving around the cage in which he is entrapped. He takes only a few steps. Why? Because the space around inside the cage is very less. So the tiger cannot move freely. He can only move around the space which is present within that cage. But there is no sound of his footsteps because his pads or his feet are very soft as velvet. In his quiet rage, he is very angry about the life in which he is living. Second stanza says he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. Now here the poet is trying to tell us that if the tiger was free, then at that time he would be lurking, he would be trying to hide himself behind the long grass in order to catch his prey, and his favorite prey is what? A deer. So he would be hiding in the long grass near the water, you can say like the rivers or the oceans, so that whenever a deer comes to drink water, he would easily catch that prey. Third stanza says he should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Now if he would have been free, what other things he could have done? Then he would be snarling around the houses. He would be just roaring around the houses so that people should become afraid of him. And that too at the jungle's edge, so that whenever he tries to enter the village, nobody would try to face him. Everybody would be afraid of his roar. And he would be taking out his white fangs, his dangerous teeth outside, his claws, so that the village people would be terrorized. Presently he can do only one thing. When he is inside the cage and the visitors, they come to see him, he can only terrorize them with his roar, but he cannot attack them. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. But presently what is his life? His life is imprisoned within the cell. That cell is made up of concrete, very solid bars, so that he cannot move out. And so his strength, his entire strength of being a tiger has been locked inside the cage. He tries to move around the length of the cage, but he doesn't find a very free space as it should be. Ignoring the visitors because he is feeling impatient inside that cage, so he doesn't even look at the visitors. If he happens to see at them, he would just roar at them in order to terrorize them. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. At night when he is alone in the cage, he could hear the sound of the police van moving around and patrolling all night, or he would see at the sky in order to see the stars, and that too with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. This is the only life that he can live when he is inside the cage. So here we come to know that what type of life a tiger is living when he is encaged in a zoo, and what is the difference between his life when encaged in a zoo to the life when he is in the forest. So let's look at some of the figures of speech used in each stanza and all. Let's see. So now let's look at the literary devices or the figures of speech in the first stanza. Here the rhyming scheme is A, B, C, B. The first and the third line are different, but the second and the fourth line are the same. Cage, rage, and so on. The personification has been used as tiger is described as he. He is referred to as he. Metaphor is used in which the tiger's paws are compared with a velvet, because as the line says, pads of velvet. Then enjambment is used in which none of the lines is complete, because they are continuing one below the other. None of the line finishes, it finishes only at the end. So it is enjambment. Then imagery is created in which we are given a visualization that he has got vivid stripes. The tiger's body has got vivid stripes. Then there is consonance, that is the use of S sounds, like we can say stalks, his, and stripes, the consonants of S. Then we have got oxymoron, in which two opposite meanings are used together. Quiet, rage. Rage is anger and quiet means calm. Both two opposite words have been used together. This was of the first stanza. Now let's look at the second one. The second one also uses enjambment, because all the lines are continuously following each other till the last line. And the rhyming scheme here also is A, B, C, B, in which the second and the fourth line are in rhyme with each other, like grass and pass, as we can see in the book. Then alliteration has been used, like plump, deer, pass. Then we can see imagery, in which the tiger's activity we can visualize like lurking in the shadow. Then let's see in the third stanza. In the third stanza we can see enjambment again. It is the same. Rhyming scheme is also the same, A, B, C, B, because here also we can see edge, village, right? Then consonants has been used, like S sounds have been used, like fangs, his, claws. And assonance means the use of the vowel O used in this, and I, like bearing, his, white, his, around, houses, O, and I have been used continuously in the words. Now let's see at the next one. The next one that we are seeing is again the rhyming scheme in the fourth one is also the same. But in the fourth one you can see there is bars and visitors they have written, but I don't think there is such a rhyming scheme. Bars and scars or something like that would have been, but according to the notes given, they have said that this is a rhyming scheme of A, B, C, D. Personification is again the tiger, which is referred to as he is logged. Then we have got assonance, the use of the vowel sound E. He, logged, concrete, cell, E have been used a lot of in this passage. Then alliteration may behind bars, together two words having the consonant B. Then in the last one, let's see. The last one is also using a rhyming scheme of cars and stars. This is okay. But in the third one, I disagree. Sorry, the fourth one, I disagree that there was a rhyming scheme. Enjambment again is there because all the lines are followed one after the other. They are in continuity. And then alliteration of H has been used. He hears, sorry. And then assonance of the vowel I sound with his, brilliant, and so on. So hope this poem is clear to you people, because here we come to know that the poet is trying to portray the life of the tiger when he is alone in the jungle or he is free. as compared to his life when he is encaged and placed in a zoo. And what does a tiger feel, right? So hope this poem is clear to you people. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you.